Dr. Borja Bandera here, your Spanish physician and endocrinologist. Have you ever wondered what changes are relevant to make after the age of 35-40 regarding nutrition and training? Because although there are no official guidelines or specific recommendations for this age range, there are physiological modifications according to the aging process. You cannot train in the same way nor eat in the same way when you are 55 years old than when you are 20 years old. So today we are going to see useful adaptations in diet, exercise, and other aspects such as supplements or osteoarticular health. Energy, macronutrients, and micronutrients. Energy refers to the amount of calories we ingest. Macronutrients are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and micronutrients are vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. You will have a lower energy budget. The amount of energy or calories needed to maintain your weight decreases progressively with age. That is, the energy budget gets smaller and smaller, mainly due to lower energy expenditure, reductions in basal metabolic rate, and NEAT, which are the calories burned by physical activity. This means as we age, we must adjust our energy intake, because if we continue to eat as we did when we were 18, our fat percentage is likely to increase considerably. One simple way to do this is to increase the fiber content in your diet, which decreases the energy density and the number of calories you take in daily. Another way to do this is to increase physical activity, which will allow you to continue eating as you have been. Reduce ability to store glycogen in muscle. Glycogen is your body's way of storing glucose, and it's very important in sports performance and muscle hypertrophy. However, it will be more important in those sports where there are intensity peaks, volleyball, soccer, basketball, tennis, or for competitors, and less important in amateur endurance sports, where the intensity is moderate. How can we increase the amount of muscle glycogen? Well, caffeine and creatine intake help muscle glycogen synthesis. Try to concentrate the greatest amount of carbohydrates in the peri-training moments, before and after training. This will increase glycogen availability. Reduce protein uptake and anabolic resistance. On the one hand, there is a slight reduction in the amount of protein absorbed when we pass a certain age, and on the other hand, the so-called anabolic resistance increases. Anabolic resistance is that we need an increasing amount and intensity of anabolic stimuli to generate an anabolic response in muscle and other tissues. It becomes harder and harder to anabolize over time. This, as I always say, increases protein requirements as we age. In fact, low protein intake in the older adult is associated with higher mortality. Here I remind you of the crucial importance of the amino acid leucine, which is one of the amino acids that has the greatest capability to overcome this anabolic resistance. You will find leucine in meat, legumes, milk, eggs, or whey protein. Calcium and vitamin D requirements tend to rise with age. Just as protein absorption is reduced, so is calcium absorption. This, associated with a weakening of the bones, especially in the post-menopausal woman, means that we have to pay even more attention to calcium intake. Some interesting foods which are rich in calcium are sardines, cruciferous vegetables, tofu, dairy products, nuts, and seeds. With regard to vitamin D, you should know that it's synthesized in the epidermis and dermis, and that this cutaneous biosynthesis weakens as we age. So it will be important to assess whether you need a vitamin D supplement, especially in the less sunny months. A very valid recommendation for this video is, as the years go by, to put more emphasis on the quality versus the quantity of what we eat. As you have seen, most of us will need to reduce calories when we pass a certain age boundary, but at the same time, the absorption of some nutrients is impoverished. Therefore, it's more important than ever to find nutritionally dense foods that provide us with more nutrients and energy. Hydration status. Regarding hydration, you should know that thermoregulation, renal function, and thirst sensation decrease with age, increasing the risk of dehydration and hyperthermia in master athletes if you exercise. This implies the need to be more aware of our intake, to have a fluid plan to ensure proper hydration. One trick is to weigh yourself before and after exercise and avoid losses of more than 2% of your body weight. This need to monitor fluid intake is intensified when we have symptoms such as nocturia, which consists of getting up multiple times during the night to go to the bathroom. The first measure to avoid nocturia is water restriction from the evening onwards. So this, associated with a reduced thirst sensation, may increase the risk of dehydration. Osteoarticular health. Bone and joint pain are tremendously frequent, and taking care of joint health is even more important as we get older. Keep in mind that bone mineral density is lower in people who have been sedentary all their lives, in postmenopausal women or in early menopausal women, and in cyclists and swimmers, since this type of exercise does not facilitate bone synthesis. Implementing exercises with a certain impact is the first measure to improve bone health. Box steps or climbing stairs, jumping rope, running, tennis, paddle tennis, etc. As for joint pain, osteoarthritis remains the first cause, and the two recommendations with the most evidence are weight loss if your body mass index is over 25 and hypertrophy of the affected periarticular musculature. Supplements. As we age, we tend to consume more supplements. On the one hand, because there is a very powerful industry telling us that we will be younger and more beautiful if we use their creams, supplements or nutraceuticals. But on the other hand, because there is a genuine and growing concern not to age. And although certain supplements are very useful in certain circumstances, this raises several scenarios of concern. Drug-supplement interactions, because the years also bring drugs, the overcost of supplements, and de-emphasizing of the role of nutrition and rest in pursuit of the possible beneficial effect of supplements, almost always very limited. Remember also that the consumption of antioxidants or their combination in high doses inhibit training adaptations, and there are many people who gorge themselves on high doses of vitamins and minerals. Preferably consume a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. If there is a risk of micronutrient deficiencies, a multivitamin multimineral whose amounts do not exceed twice the RDA is safer than taking different micronutrients in isolation and at high doses. Some micronutrients that are frequently cause of deficiency are vitamin D, magnesium or zinc. If you want this video interesting and you want me to do more in this line, leave it in the comments. See you soon, stay strong and healthy.